Hellion launches out of early access, unfinished, and ends development. This is a big story. Hellion basically says, the developers of Hellion say, that's it. We're done. We're not gonna continue to develop the game. And that to me is a very big story. No, it's not finished. And yes, they're still charging for it. Holy God. If you point your brain back at 2017, you recall that an ambitious survival sandbox called Hellion, and by the way, my friend Jiro actually suggested this game for me and I had bought it. And this was about a year or so ago. And I thought, hey, this is pretty decent. This can go somewhere. It needs a lot more work. This kind of hits home for us, especially in this group, because we have a lot of Star Citizens in our audience. And this is another kind of space sim that was, promised us further development, the kind of gameplay that we were looking for. And boom, they ended development. So let's read the story here. Let's see here. You'll recall that an ambitious survival sandbox called Hellion braved the Steam Early Access Waters Zero Gravity Games sci-fi thriller had caught our eye with its creepy sci-fi setting and hardcore mechanics. And it does. It has this really cool vibe, or had. When you get into the game, it's got really cool vibe to it. But sadly, the game is not to be, at least not to the original vision. The studio announced that it can no longer afford to develop the game. Unfortunately, the cruel reality is not enough players were brought into our world of Hellion to make it commercially viable. Oh shit. After the sloppy start of the game, predominantly in terms of bugs and issues, we gave our best to fix the game and add new content via numerous patches and updates. Hellion grew, got better, but is still far from the original idea of what Hellion was meant to be. Factions, additional ships, trade posts, all of this was simply put aside since our team was constantly fighting technical issues, some of which were simply impossible to be solved for good. This is scary stuff here. Like when I start to read this now, obviously those that were developing Hellion, the developers behind it, didn't have the kind of money that Cloud Imperium has. They did not have the support that Cloud Imperium has. And you can see in the statement here by the developer that he was obviously rubbed raw by the experience of not having the support that he had hoped for. It didn't get the kind of press that Star Citizen did. So it didn't get that kind of success that he was expecting it to get. But they didn't really push it as hard as they should have. They should have put a little bit more money into advertising. They should have put a little bit more money into promoting the title. They would have got more sales. They should have had a better revenue stream. They should have a better thought out way in which to develop this game and to put it out there for people to easily support this game. And they didn't. They kind of just plopped it on Steam and expected, just for the fact that it was on Steam, that everybody would just gravitate to this. They needed to do more work when it comes to the promotion of the game. It looks as though the game has now launched from early access as it is without achieving goals set for it by its devs, with a price cut to $15 since it's not fully finished. Whew, man, that fee will pay for the servers to stay up, though the game won't see patches or fixes from here on out. And control over the official servers will be handed to Hellion's Discord moderators. Wow, man, this is a huge blow for those people that were really behind Hellion, for those people that were really supporting it from the very beginning. I could only imagine those guys that were really hardcore into Hellion, that put a lot of money into this game, and this is the result. Ooh, man. This one's kind of a scary story here. While it seems some players are sympathetic, others are currently asking for refunds and calling it a scam. Oh, and of course, Steam reviews have since tanked to mostly negative. Well, of course it would be. I mean, of course that would happen. As angry players warn everyone else away from picking up the title now that it is launched. And to say that this title was launched too, this is an unfinished game. Simply didn't have the funds that it needed to make it a reality. And they should have figured out a better way to make the funds roll in. They should have had a better, well thought out plan on how to continue to bring in the revenue for the game, to continue to support it. They did a really horrible job at it. The only formal notice that this newly launched title comes as is buried in Steam's updates, not on the Steam page itself. So wow. This is a big story. I will be putting this on the YouTube channel. Please comment below. Tell me what you think for those watching on the YouTube channel. I really want to hear those that were super supporting this title. I know that a lot of people in my community were putting money into Hellion. And now after this news, I'm not quite sure what to expect to hear. I can't wait to see the comments from our community. I know, again, Jiro was really big into this. He's a friend of mine, and he got me into this game. I played it a few times. I always liked the feel of it. Kind of had a real eerie space feel to it. It was very immersive in the feeling of it. Like I really felt like I was in space with the game. There were a lot of hurdles, technical hurdles that this game had to get into. Very similar to Star Citizen, just not in scope. And it didn't have the hype behind it. It didn't have the draw behind it. It didn't have a well thought out plan. And this is why I always give props to Chris and Cloud Imperium. You know, for as much people like that are talking shit about Cloud Imperium and Chris, there's one thing that they're able to do. They have developed a strategy in which they can continue the revenue stream. Sometimes it feels a little bit like car salesman-y. Sometimes it feels like, oh my God, I'm so tired of seeing ship after ship. Some people aren't. I like the ships personally, but I get it. You keep seeing these continual ships roll out for Star Citizen, but this is the reason why. Because if they don't have a plan, then what ends up happening is what ends up happening to Hellion. And this is why I'm going to really look into the ship sales going forward into Star Citizen, because now that ship rentals are in the game, I think in a way it's a game changer. It could really help real life sales of Star Citizen, because people are able to rent the ships in game and therefore try them out and then buy them. Or it could go the other way and make a complete left turn, and people will stop buying ships in real life because the rental system is there. So I will be watching the numbers very carefully in ship sales in real life now that rentals are in game. And I give props to Cloud Imperium for putting rentals in the game. I think it's a ballsy move. I think it's a move in the direction of the gamer. I think that the fact that they've made rentals and they said, yes, we're keeping to our promises, we're putting the rentals in the game, is a positive and a step in the right direction. So kudos to Cloud Imperium, but I don't know how it's going to affect the bottom line in terms of ship sales. Anyway, tell me what you guys think about below about Hellion. Sad day for Hellion supporters. Sad news here for those that have so long wanted this game to be much more. And today we find out the end. Developers aren't going to do anything left for it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I will see you on the next vid.